The story opens with the Galactic Council meeting in emergency session. For 300 years, they believed humanity was extinct, wiped out after being exiled from known space for being too dangerous and unpredictable. The Council had banned humans from all civilized worlds, forcing them into the outer rim where no one expected them to survive. Now, massive ships appear at the edge of Council space. Ships unlike anything the galaxy has seen before. They dwarf even the largest Council vessels, and there are thousands of them. The fleet's lead ship sends a simple message. Humanity requests an audience. Admiral Ross leads the human delegation aboard the Council station. He is calm, professional, and terrifyingly confident. The alien representatives, the proud Alterans, the militaristic Vex, the ancient Kaleri, all stare in shock. Humans were supposed to be dead. Ross explains that humanity did not die in exile. Instead, they thrived. While the Council grew fat and comfortable in their small corner of the galaxy, humans explored the vast unknown. They found worlds the Council never dreamed existed. They built cities on planets thought impossible to colonize. They made allies with species the Council had never met. The Council demands to know how many worlds humanity now controls. Ross smiles coldly and answers, 1,300,000 and counting. The session erupts in chaos. The aliens cannot believe it. The human fleet hanging in space suddenly makes sense. These are not desperate refugees, but representatives of a galactic superpower that dwarfs the Council itself. Ross delivers humanity's ultimatum. The exile is over. Humanity demands full restoration of rights, trade agreements, and reparations for 3 centuries of forced banishment. The Council has one standard galactic month to decide. As the human delegation leaves, the aliens realize they are no longer the dominant force in the galaxy. The species they threw away has returned to something far greater than they ever were. The Council chambers buzz with panic and debate. President Thane of the Alterans calls for immediate military action, believing the humans are bluffing. General Vok of the Vex agrees, stating that no species could possibly control 1,000,000 worlds. It must be an exaggeration. However, Elder Mora of the Kolari, the oldest species on the Council, is not so sure. She remembers why humans were exiled in the first place. They were adaptable beyond measure, creative in ways that made other species uncomfortable, and they had an unsettling habit of turning impossible situations to their advantage. Intelligence. Reports begin flooding in. Long-range scouts confirm the presence of human colonies in sectors the Council marked as uninhabitable dead zones. Worlds with crushing gravity, toxic atmospheres, and deadly radiation, all thriving with human cities. Species thought extinct are now allied with humanity, sharing technology and resources. Dr. Hayes, a human scientist who remained behind during the exile, hidden among the Kolari, is secretly contacted by Elder Mora. Hayes explains that the Council made a critical error 300 years ago. They saw humanity's unpredictability as weakness, but it was actually humanity's greatest strength. While the Council species developed within comfortable parameters, humans learned to survive anywhere. They didn't just adapt to harsh worlds, they transformed them. They didn't just meet alien species, they formed genuine partnerships based on mutual benefit rather than dominance. Hayes reveals that humanity's expansion wasn't conquest, was exploration and cooperation on a scale the Council never imagined possible. The 1,000,000 worlds aren't all human colonies. They're part of a vast alliance of species, with humanity as the unifying force. Meanwhile, some Council members propose negotiation. Counselor Reed of the Terran Sympathizers argues that humanity's return could benefit everyone. But hardliners, like Thane, refuse to accept that their former victims have become their superiors. Council fractures into factions, those who want to fight, those who want to negotiate, and those who want to surrender immediately. As they argue, reports continue arriving of human ships, appearing throughout Council space, not attacking. Just watching and waiting. The month deadline suddenly feels very short. Asterisk, a Council military fleet, led by General Vok, attempts to probe human defenses at a border system. They expect to find a few colonies they can easily overwhelm, proving humanity's claims are false. Instead, they discover new Terra, a system with 12 inhabited worlds, massive orbital cities, and defensive capabilities that make their fleet look like toys. The human commander, Captain Stone, doesn't even raise shields. He simply asks if the Council fleet needs assistance with navigation back to their territory. General Vok demands to know how humans built such defenses so quickly. Stone's response is chilling. Quickly? General, we've had 300 years. This is one of our smaller systems. The Council fleet retreats in shock, but not before their sensors capture impossible readings. The humans aren't just using advanced technology. They're using principles of physics the Council thought were theoretical impossibilities. Back on the Council station, Dr. Hayes is brought before the full assembly to explain what humanity has become. She reveals the truth. When humanity was exiled, they didn't just survive, they evolved their entire approach to civilization. The Council species had always competed with each other, viewing the galaxy as a finite resource to be divided. Humans, instead, saw infinite possibility. They didn't conquer worlds, they created them. Using advanced terraforming, they turned dead rocks into garden worlds. They built habitats in the void between stars. They learned to harvest energy from black holes and construct cities in the coronas of stars. But more importantly, they changed how they related to other species. Where the Council used fear and economic pressure to maintain control, humanity offered genuine partnership. Species that had been ignored or oppressed by the Council found welcome homes in human space. Hayes shows recordings from the outer RM, worlds where multiple species work together as equals, sharing knowledge and resources freely. Former enemies of the Council have become humanity's closest allies, not through conquest, but through respect and mutual benefit. The revelation that shocks the Council most is that humanity's million worlds aren't just planets. They include artificial habitats, mobile cities, and even modified asteroids. Humanity has essentially rewritten the rules of what constitutes a world. Elder Mora realizes the terrifying truth. Humanity hasn't just become powerful, they've become something entirely new. A species that views the galaxy not as a territory to control, but as a canvas for endless creation and cooperation. The Council's month is half over, and they're no closer to a decision. But now they understand they're not just negotiating with a returned exile. They're facing a civilization that has transcended every limitation the Council thought was absolute. With 1 week left before humanity's deadline, the Council remains deadlocked. President Thane makes a desperate decision. He orders a secret strike against a human colony world, hoping to prove humanity can be hurt and forced to negotiate from weakness. The target is Haven, a peaceful world in the Outer Rim known for its universities and research centers. Thane believes destroying it will show humanity that the Council still has teeth. The attack fleet arrives at Haven, expecting light defenses. Instead, they find the planet completely undefended. No orbital weapons, no military ships, nothing. The colonists don't even evacuate. They simply continue their daily lives as if the Council fleet doesn't exist. Admiral Fox, leading the attack, is puzzled but orders the bombardment to begin. That's when Haven reveals its true nature. The planet itself responds to the attack. The ground absorbs the energy weapons, the atmosphere neutralizes the missiles, and the ocean begins to glow with an otherworldly light. Haven isn't just a colony, it's a living world, engineered by humanity to be truly alive. The planet doesn't just support life. It is life capable of defending itself and its inhabitants without violence. The Council weapons are simply absorbed and converted into energy that makes the world stronger. As Admiral Fox watches in horror, he realizes the humans never needed military defenses because they had created something far more advanced. Worlds that couldn't be destroyed, only enhanced by attacks against them. The news of the failed attack spreads quickly through both Council and human space. But humanity's response isn't anger or retaliation. Admiral Ross simply sends a message. We are disappointed, but not surprised. We hoped 300 years might have taught you wisdom. Instead of punishment, humanity demonstrates mercy. They reveal that they detected the attack fleet long before it reached haven and could have stopped it at any time. They allowed it to proceed to show the Council the futility of violence against a civilization that had evolved beyond the need for traditional warfare. The demonstration has the intended effect. The moderate Council members finally have proof that humanity isn't just militarily superior, they're philosophically advanced beyond anything the Council can comprehend. Dr. Hayes addresses the Council one final time, explaining that humanity's exile was the greatest gift the Council could have given them. Forced to survive in the impossible void, humans learn to create rather than consume, to cooperate rather than compete, and to see challenges as opportunities rather than threats. The hardline faction, led by President Thane, finally crumbles. Faced with evidence of humanity's overwhelming superiority in every field, military, technological, and moral, even the most stubborn Council members begin to accept reality. With days left before the deadline, the Council faces a choice that will determine the future of known space: submit to humanity's terms and join a larger galactic community, or face isolation as humanity and their million worlds leave the Council behind to stagnate in their small corner of the galaxy. Asterisk. The Council's final session is somber but decisive. Elder Mora, speaking for the majority, formally accepts humanity's terms. The exile is officially ended, reparations will be paid, and humanity is granted full rights within Council space. But Admiral Ross surprises everyone with humanity's counteroffer. The Council can join the Galactic Union Humanities Alliance of 1,000,000 worlds and countless species. The Council's small empire of a few hundred systems would become part of something unimaginably vast. President Thane, his pride finally broken, asks what humanity wants in return. Ross's answer is simple: nothing. We learned long ago that you cannot build a lasting civilization on what you take from others, only on what you give. The transformation begins immediately. Human ships arrive not as conquerors, but as partners, bringing technology, resources, and knowledge freely shared. Council worlds that struggled with environmental damage are healed using human terraforming techniques. Species that were oppressed under Council rule find new homes and opportunities in human space. Dr. Hayes becomes the first human ambassador to the new Galactic Union Council, helping to integrate the former Council species into humanity's vast alliance. She explains that the 1,000,000 worlds continue to grow as new civilizations are discovered and welcomed into the Union. The story reveals the ultimate irony. The Council's fear of humanity's unpredictability was actually fear of humanity's unlimited potential for growth and cooperation. By exiling humanity, they forced humans to realize that potential on a scale that eventually dwarfed the Council's entire civilization. 6 months after humanity's return, the galaxy is unrecognizable. Trade flows freely between species that had never met before. Scientific discoveries accelerate as different civilizations share knowledge. Worlds thought uninhabitable become thriving colonies through human terraforming expertise. The former Council species discover what humanity learned during their exile: The galaxy is not a finite pie to be divided, but an infinite canvas for creation and cooperation. Resources are not scarce when you can build worlds from asteroids and harvest energy from stars. Admiral Ross, now serving as humanity's representative to the Galactic Union, reflects on the journey from exile to return. Humanity didn't come back. For revenge, they came back to share what they had learned and to prove that exile had not broken them, but forged them into something greater. The story ends with a new species, making first contact at the edge of Union space. Instead of fear or suspicion, they are greeted with curiosity and welcome. The Union fleet that meets them includes ships from hundreds of different species, all flying under the same banner of cooperation and exploration. The final scene shows the galaxy as it now exists, not divided between competing empires, but united under a single vision of infinite possibility. Humanity, once exiled for being too different, has become the bridge that connects all species in a grand alliance of exploration and creation. The Council's greatest mistake, exiling humanity, had become the galaxy's greatest fortune. In trying to remove what they saw as a dangerous variable, they had forced that variable to evolve into the solution the galaxy never knew it needed. Humanity had returned, not as conquerors seeking revenge, but as teachers sharing the greatest lesson learned in exile, that civilization's true strength lies not in what it can destroy, but in what it can build, protect, and share with others among the infinite stars.